Kalimera, kalispera, kalinichta. No matter where in this wild, wacky, and sometimes wonderful world you might be, thank you for making the Highbury Squad part of your day. Well, I don't know how you feel, but I'm kind of glad that's over. Let's rock and roll, squaddies.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Not the same type of vibe from the North London derby and Bayern Munich, but nonetheless, it's a vibe, and it's a different kind of vibe, and the kind of game you end up being happy to escape from with a point, helping me dissect and discuss not only the squaddies, but also my wingmen. James and Albert, welcome back to Squad Central. At ease, fellas, at ease. Is one of you actually going to say something?
I will, Sophie. I was waiting for you to finish your dialogue. Sophie, sorry, I was distracted. I was admiring your beautiful hat and curly hair. Sorry, sorry. Sophie, fantastic to be on. That was a tough watch, man. I'm glad I didn't do a watch along for that one. I'll be honest.
Yeah, we'll get stuck into it. Good evening, squaddies. Everyone in live chat, appreciate you. Our chief like officer isn't here. That worries me. Where is she? Yeah, we hope Tammy's okay. And all is well in her world. Let's say hi to a few people. Melissa is reminding everyone to subscribe because she couldn't be here today. Thank you very much. Let's read out some of these comments before we get stuck in two-footed, no studs up, unlike Caicedo. Shambolic second half with an extra man, did nothing with it. Very novice-y and naive, says Arsenal Manic. Kevin Harold says, if Chelsea had kept 11 on the pitch, we would have lost today. Kevin Darmus there, looking into the future is crystal football. The Governor, it's a long season. The injuries are genuinely beginning to concern me. Title number 14. Oh, well, tough week. Demsek. Another back line. He also said that was a very hard watch. Let's see what else we got here. Who else do we have? Cincinnati. Chelsea was so poor in the final third, could have easily been 3-0 up in the first half. And 2-3-5. Chelsea cheating, rolling around on the floor. Pathetic. Josh says, let's be honest, please. No excuses. Disgusting performance. Nemeth TV. We were very poor today. All right. Let's read a couple more. 3 Gaza. This is on, 3 Gaza, sorry. This is on Arteta. What did he tell this guy halftime? 10 men Chelsea wanted more. What the hell was that today, says Ivanovic. I haven't seen us play so bad in 3 years. Everyone was unrecognizable other than Declan Rice. Nick Paris says, Odegaard, game over. Patrick, good evening, Pat. How you doing, mate? Good evening. We wish Caicedo a nice holiday. All right, let's get stuck into this. Another London derby. Welcome to everyone who's joining live right now. So appreciate each and every one of you. It has been a tough week, okay? Let's just try and keep this all in perspective at the same time. Let loose if you wish. A lot of you are very frustrated in live chat, and I totally understand that. I remember when we started the season and we had the fixture list that we had to look at, James, and everyone was like, oh my God, how many points are we going to get from all of this? And we managed and weathered the storm well. In the last week, we've had to play a North London derby. We've also had to play Bayern Munich in the Champions League. And if we're being honest, a Chelsea team that I think many have underrated this season and who, all of a sudden are novices themselves after beating PSG in the Club World Cup. Winning a European trophy will be in a weak category, but still they've got and are laden with talent. James, the team sheet came out, and the shocker was actually the fact that Saliba couldn't make this team. Looks like another training injury, whether it's a muscle injury, we'll know more from Mikel Arteta. And squaddies, if you do have some quotes from the gaffer, please make sure you post them and I will read them out as we go. But James, the team sheet and no Saliba meant Mosquera and Nketiah partnering each other for the very first time. Would you have maybe thrown Benjamin White into the mix with some familiarity in a game like this? Both have proven that they've come in and done well. They haven't played together. Your thoughts on the starting 11 to kick this thing off with?
Yeah, look, I had no real problem with it. I get the shout for Ben White on the experience, but if anyone in the chat can remember better than I can, I mean, that game's put a dent in my memory completely. But I can't remember the last time Ben White played as a centre half for us, so I could see why he went for the more natural fitting partnership of Mosquera and Hincapié. But yeah, initially when you saw that, when that news come in before obviously kickoff and everything, I thought at least like, well, you know, this is going to be. I wasn't necessarily dreading today. I didn't have dread. I was still confident regardless. However, I did think this could be a monumental. Hey, dog's popped in there. Nice little cameo. You know, for me, I thought to myself that this is going to be a tougher challenge than what already was going to be a tough game. And yeah, you know, it proved right. Did both of them do well? I think so. I wouldn't necessarily say either of them had a dreadful game per se, but just, you know, for me, we were just so easy to play through due to, especially in that first half, Sophie. Zubimendi for me today, I think that's the worst game I've seen him have in an Arsenal shirt. I thought Zubimendi today just got that yellow card very, very early because he got caught out quite quick. But at the same time, just his game completely was lost from then on because he'd been put on a booking. And Declan Rice, like we were saying on WhatsApp to each other, it was like we had to play a back three. He had to just slot in there as a, you know, auxiliary kind of centre half to help beef up with these two. And yeah, it just spiraled really from there. The creativity went because Declan Rice has been one of our best players in that other third of the pitch, but he had to play so deep. Like I said, he was basically playing as a centre half.
Albert, I'm going to read some more comments to you before you have your say. Right is Right says, another very tough away game ticked off. We were very poor today. A poor game every now and then is inevitable. We take the point and we move on. Leon says, another difficult away ground ticked off. City still to go. Anfield and Old Trafford. Kevin says, Saka, so selfish on the ball. It's a team game. K Marlon, hopefully a stinker out of the way. Saka has been dreadful for a while. So many wasted opportunities. We'll get to that eventually. Nemeth says maybe the buying game took a lot out of the players. And James says, Sophia said again and again, injuries will cost us the league. Your stupid manager does not understand rotation. Mosquera and Capier Calafiori, poor. Something is wrong with our training. Albert, what did you make of the starting 11?
Yeah, you got some, just to address, you got some very varied comments in the chats, man. Fair enough, man.
People are really upset, but we're gonna manage this process here.
The lineup, we spoke briefly before the game. We were talking about like key battles and sort of thing, and Saliba's had probably a couple of issues for a while, which the manager did talk about quite a few games ago. So that's obviously something they must be managing. Mosquera's coming obviously and done well. Hincapié's not played many games, but you kind of, you know, we bought him for a reason. So I didn't have too many gripes. Obviously Calafiori started the season well, but I still felt we had enough to get a positive result. I actually said to you, and probably a few others, James and many others I speak to, you know, outside of YouTube world, I thought it'd be a draw. Something was just telling me, my intuition was saying, you know, we have got a good record at Chelsea, but I did think we'd get a draw. It obviously panned out in the way that it did, but that was a hard watch, man. It was I don't recall particularly talking about sort of the first half of the game. I thought the first 20 minutes was quite even. I thought it was quite even Stevens, but then Chelsea came into a bit more. But yeah, we didn't really do anything of any note. Everything was.
I want you to tell me about the starting 11 first, and we're going to get stuck into like what happened and didn't happen.
No, the start 11. I said, yeah, I didn't have too many major concerns. Like I said, we had enough defenders in terms of the sort of the back line. And obviously it's good to get some of the guys back on the bench to come and affect the game. But I didn't have too many concerns about the team lineup, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I think number one, Saliba seemed like he travelled with the team and had his tracksuit on. We can argue about injuries another day, maybe, but it is a concern, like Jay Raucus says, and like others have said. Losing Big Gabby and Saliba at the same time, as well as good as Mosquera and Nkapie have been stepping in, guys. Okay, and they have been, but playing together without one of them is a totally different ball game. So we'll get stuck into the first half.
First time in 3 years, Sophie, that not one of them's played in the league.
And
that's the first time in 3 years. So you think that's a long time?
Yeah, it's a problem, because one of the things I think that Mikel has done really well with this squad is the partnerships, and the partnerships that have evolved and developed over a period of time. And that's why I mentioned Benjamin White, not because he's played with either one of them, but he has familiarity in these kinds of moments and games. And like you said, James, when was the last time he started as centre back? And I felt this put a lot on Timber and Calafiori. Calafiori had to be a lot more disciplined. His organised chaos had to just go to pure, like, organised. And what it did, and James, I'll start with you here, is like a lot of squaddies are saying it in the chat, felt like Zubimendi and Declan Rice were dizzy, especially in the first half. Like, they had to do so much tracking back. It felt like there was no room for Declan to play his kind of sweeping 8 role. The movement, that they seemed isolated in that part of the pitch. And of course, you're going to take care of your teammates. And it's not because they made any huge errors or mistakes, but there was this instability. It felt, you could feel it, you could cut it like with a knife. James, would you agree that we've seen Zubi and Declan be so dominant, but in the first half in particular, especially Zubi getting the yellow card, it felt like they were handcuffed?
Oh, 100%. 100%. And what didn't help as well was just some of the stuff on the ball from Zubimendi today. This guy's normally a metronome. This guy normally gets us ticking. But like I messaged you, Sophie, I went, does he know that we play in red? Just everything he was doing, every pass was just going to a Chelsea player. And then it's like, well, now we're on the back foot again. Now we're just chasing and we're chasing and we're chasing. And that happens so much. Marino, brilliant goal in the second half, which we'll touch on. But on the ball today, especially in that first half, again, another one, just passing wayward. And because of the detriment of what these cards were doing and the way that Chelsea was playing, people's games had to be sacrificed. Eze today looked like a passenger. You compare that to the 2 games that we've had in this week before, and he's arguably been one of our best players. But he was anonymous today because, again, he had to play like a defensive game. He was chasing. But Calafiori, for me, Sophie, I was gutted he come off, because
why him of all the yellow cards? Why Calafiori, guys? Why do you think that is, when he's really been one of our most...
Because of Neto and his pace and his trickery. If there was one guy that would turn you on a sixpence and you'd pull him down, it would be that was that side. With Timber, okay, Timber hadn't been booked, but with Timber, if he had, he wouldn't be like that. Calafiori, for me, can still get spun and caught, and then he would make a rash decision. So that's why I saw why he done it. And this isn't even in hindsight of how bad Lewis Skelly was when he come on, by the way, because he was dreadful. But again, we'll touch on that in a bit. But yeah, for me, Calafiori, when he was on the ball, he was pushing them back. So I was like, keep him on, because he's forcing Chelsea players backwards, which is then allowing, like we said, your Rices and your Ezes to play forward. They're not having to come back in. When Calafiori was on a gallop, they were panicking. They were getting they weren't enjoying him running at them with the ball either from that central space or down that left-hand side. But yeah, I was gutted when he come off. I thought he had a really good game, Calafiori, defensively and offensively. But there we go.
Albert, I felt like the first half was certainly impacted, and let us know what you think. A few hundred of you listening to the post-game show here. Please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a show. And I was remiss to not welcome our audio listeners. I do apologize. Welcome to our audio listeners on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your audio stuff. Albert, I felt like the referee had a huge hand to play in the stifling of the first half. You know, we know the history with Anthony Taylor. He's not liked by any fan base. This isn't just an Arsenal thing. And it just seemed to me he whipped out that card early for Zubimendi. Didn't do what our good friend of the show, Keith Hackett, would say is, and just calm down. Chelsea seemed jacked up. They came to play very physical and to really kind of disrupt us. And the referee, I thought, just killed the competitiveness of the game. It got dirty, but it felt like more players just trying not to get that second yellow or get in trouble. What was your take about the ref's impact on the creativity and the overall flow of the first half, Albert?
Yeah, I said it. The first 13 minutes, he set the tone for the game. 3 yellow cards in 12 minutes. I was like, this is ridiculous. I mean, the one for Zubimendi, I said at the time, I said, I don't. If that's a yellow card, then we'll be lucky to have 5. We have five players against 5. I thought he set the tone. He did set the tone for both sides in that. Unfortunately, that's why you saw a lot of the sort of gamesmanship and the rolling around on the floor and trying to get players booked. Because if you'd have let the game flow a little bit better, I'm not saying you let people get away with absolute murder and chopping people in half, but like I said, 3 yellow cards in 12 minutes. It set the tone for the game, and it did. And at points, it got really, really bad-tempered, which it would do in a London derby. And
what did you make of the challenge? Let's just riff off that referee. And then, of course, everything was billed as, and we spoke to Jason Cundy, he really can't stand the comparison of Rice and Caicedo, talks about them as being totally different players, and it's the wrong comparison. And Caicedo felt like he missed the Eubank Ben fight, Albert. He came to Rumble, or like James's favorite WWE stuff. It was a horrible challenge, which, by the way, we've complained a lot about VAR, and VAR gets so many things wrong. But in this instance, had there been no VAR, Anthony Taylor would have walked away from that challenge, giving him a yellow card. Albert.
Yeah, I was listening to Daniel Sturridge at halftime. I'm like, yeah, I just said you've had a mare given the assessment of that red card. I thought it was a really, really poor challenge. You could have broke his ankle easily. So yeah, you're right. He gave a yellow card at the time. He obviously saw the challenge, but didn't see it as dangerous. But you know, for once in our sort of lifetime as an Arsenal fan, VAR was on our side this time. But it's a really, really poor challenge. He was very reckless and loose within the first half anyway, Caicedo. Yes, it's a big game. Yes, you're at home. Yes, it's a London derby, but don't leave your team in a vulnerable position. And that's what he did through being reckless. And he's done it before in the Premier League as well, because Caicedo. So we're thinking, obviously, things might improve a little bit better, Sophie, in terms of Arsenal being a bit more dominant and a bit more better in possession, but that quite clearly wasn't the case. So,
James, I know that you had some very passionate thoughts about how the tackle was interpreted on the broadcast you were watching. Why don't you share that with the squaddies?
Yeah, no, I'm the same as Albert. So obviously, went to half time, and you were like, well, this is what they're going to talk about. They're not going to talk about anything else in that heart. You know, they're not going to talk about any of the chances. It's going to be the red card. Obviously, Daniel Sturridge is sat there dressed like Shaft in his Prada leather jacket. I don't know what the hell he was wearing, thinking he could get away with that and not be pulled up on it. That was bad. You know, he should have been sent off. I don't know why his jacket and what he was dressing didn't get VAR'd, to be honest. And I'm sat here looking like Big Lebowski today, but still, that's a different one for a different day.
Great movie.
It is. It's a fantastic movie. And then I'm sat there going, right, Walcott, he's going to let Sturridge talk a little bit of smack, and then he's going to come in and go, nah, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. And then Walcott's now become part of the Sky cabal. He's been you know, changed.
Corrupted.
And he's agreeing with him. And I'm like, Theo, mate, you were there in Sunderland when Abu Dhabi basically got his career ruined. You saw Aaron Ramsey, you saw bloody Eduardo, and this is a similar sort of thing. You know, thank God he didn't do anything to Marino, but you could have absolutely bashed, like you said, leg breaker, ankle, whatever. He could have snapped the guy in half. And do you know what was an absolute joke? Was that he laid on the floor for so long.
Disgusting.
Because he knew he was getting sent off. He was like, if I just keep sitting here and just delay the inevitable, I'm going to get away with this. And it was an absolute joke. And people are saying, oh, Theo said it was a red card. No, he said that when it slowed down.
He agreed with Daniel Sturridge.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He said that if it wasn't slowed down and everything like that, then it shouldn't be a red. And I'm like, no, it's a red straight away. How can all of us at home say that's a red card?
You're so stupid. So ready.
Sir Antonius Block, you know how much I love you, my little Aussie, my little peach. They don't have peaches in Australia. I don't know. Maybe. What's the thing? Yeah. Anyway, my little rugby loving friend. Why are you wasting time discussing this? It was a clear red. That's not. Of course it was. That's not what we're discussing. We're discussing the fact that Anthony Taylor gave it a yellow. And okay, fine. Things can happen. But the point is that when we bitch about VAR, we should also credit having VAR in these moments, because we would be screaming bloody murder right now if there was no VAR and they had gotten away with that. And that's why we're discussing it, my little Australian peach.
And I agree with everyone in the comments saying we should have done more when they went down to 10 men. Totally agree. But the thing is, Chelsea have been down to 10 men so often this season that it's second nature to them now. It doesn't matter. They're like, well, we get a player sent off every week, so this is fine. This is just what we do. That's what I'm trying. I don't want people to think that I'm on here moaning and complaining about this decision and saying that we still did enough. And that's not what I'm saying at all. We didn't do never enough when they had 10 down to 10 men. Never enough.
And, you know, there is the old cliche, of course, Albert, where it's tough to play against 10 men sometimes. You know, they put everybody behind the ball. And yes, however, when you've played the way we have, I thought we were afraid of them still with 10 men, Albert. That's how it felt to me. Because let's jump to the first half was a total shit show. Let's all agree. It was an awful game of football. The referee didn't help it by booking so many players. Chelsea looked like they were much more in control of the game. We looked like we had been hit in a fight and we were on the ropes a little bit. Couldn't really recover, trying to support the two boys at the back with them playing together for the first time. And it was kind of, for me, an awful, awful, awful game. Get to the second half and we got punched in the mouth really quickly, Albert. It's what we did to Tottenham. And I was shook. I was literally shook that they scored from a set piece so early. Albert, what did you see on the corner? I know Rice was marking the man, but it was a good corner. It was a good delivery. It was a good header. Did you see anything that perhaps we could have done better?
Yeah, I would say that. And I'd say that probably about football in terms of how teams defend corners. Sophie and James, the good old days of having people on the post. It's gone. It's gone, Sophie. Zonal, man-to-man. Because I looked at that goal and I thought, if you've got a defender on the back post, which you normally do with your fullbacks, that doesn't go in. That does not go in, that goal. Good delivery, I'll grant Chelsea that, but Yeah, that Sophie, we got done what we've been doing to many teams, but like I said, the way corners are defended now in football, you don't have players on the post, and it couldn't, and you know, this thing, it could have been avoided. In regards to sort of Arsenal and coming out for the second half, awful start, obviously conceding the goal, but I don't know what was said at half time, because it absolutely did not translate to anything on the pitch. Sophie, even with the subs, I think Arsenal, when we got it back to 1-1, we had I would say a 5-10 minute window to get that second goal and get ahead in that game, and they missed the boat with that. The passing today, I was so glad I didn't watch along. I was getting so furious, particularly in the final third. Sophie was getting down the wings, running the ball out of play, crosses are going too deep. Simple 5-10 yard passes to get through their backline. We're mislaying them. Many of them were culpable for doing that. The one thing I was screaming out for, and it did happen a little bit in the second half, was, for the love of God, whether it comes from Mikel or the players, swap Saka over and put Madueke on the right. Just do something different, because we're not penetrating them. That didn't work either. I don't think, like I said, the subs didn't really impact the game. GoonerChris is making countless. I lost count of the many times he made runs, not getting the ball. And so I kind of think the last bit of the game summed it up, really. Not making the right decision at the right time, in terms of Hincapie putting a great cross in, and GoonerChris is going to bang it in the head, and Timber's in front of him in the way. We were not precise. I'd defy anyone to tell me in that game where Arsenal deserved to win the game, or we looked like scoring after we got the goal from Moreno. It was really poor, considering who he's playing against. And I don't know. Listen, someone mentioned earlier in the chat about maybe sort of the buying game might have took out of him, but I'm like, Chelsea were down to 10 men for over 60 something minutes.
Yeah, but also we can't laud having a deep squad and then not say that our team isn't prepared. And of course it's tiring. There's no doubt about it. And we're coming into the month where it's going to be vicious, and you need to rotate. But
Sophie, you made a good point though, because you said it from the top before you came to me, saying that Chelsea didn't exactly park the bus with 10 men. They looked more threatening in the second half with 10 men than they did in the first half of 11. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there were opportunities for Arsenal to, with the players that were off the bench and the players that were on the pitch at the time, to be far more effective than what they were doing. That was really bad. And I get the frustration in the chat with some people.
Albert, on the bench too, right? Let's take this into consideration, guys. As strong as our bench is, GoonerChris just coming back from injury. Madueke just coming back from injury. Jesus just coming back from injury. Nwaneri maybe physically not up to this battle for Mikel. So 4 of those players, okay, are coming back from injury, and that's tough. You've also got Declan, who played yet another 90 plus minutes. Does he trust Norgard to come on in a game like this yet? No, he doesn't. Otherwise, he would have subbed him. People can say what they want about Mikel Merino, and a few of us bitched about him in the WhatsApp group, saying he just wasn't on it today. But once again, he comes up trumps and is without question a player that Mikel trusts totally, and was part of our Unsung Hero show last week. He just delivers over and over and over again. And I kind of loved how we didn't even celebrate the equalizer, because we know we had bigger fish to fry. Yeah. So even though you look at it and you say, okay, you know, go to the bench, Martin Odegaard, another player, sorry, I forgot, coming back from injury. And you could see that when they came on, they were rusty.
Very.
We need to make sure that these players, James, are ready for the critical time of the season. But we did get the equalizer, and it was Mikel Merino again from Saka's, I felt, only good moment in the match. James.
Yeah, spot on. Look, I come on here when we played Sunderland, and I had a few choice words to say about Saka, and I got battered for it. I don't like to say I was right, but look, he is arguably our best player, one of our best players that we have in this squad. But he is so bloody wasteful at times, and it's frustrating. And do you know what? Again, Sophie, Cucurella was on a booking, and the one time he ran at him and spun him is when he got the cross and we scored the goal. And the whole game, I was like, get at him. You are better. I know he pocketed Yamal in the weekend, and he's having a really good season. But I'm like, you are better than this player, Bukayo. So just go at him. But he bottled it every time. He just shirked it. He didn't want the battle, and that's the thing. So if this game become a war, it become a war. And the two subs that we brought on, looking midweek, I gave Mikel big tens because all of his subs when they come on won us the game. His subs today. And I'm not even blaming him for the players that he picked. The way they come into that game, both of them, Noni Madueke, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Odegaard for me, fine. Not the best, fine. But them two especially, oh my God. You're coming into a war scenario. You got the old silk cuts in your mouth. Oh, put me a little jacket on, get the dressing gown. It was a casual. I'm like, lads, this is a scrap.
Yeah, more intensity.
This is first versus second.
Yeah.
Everyone else in the top 8 has won this week, and you two are just dawdling like it's nobody. It's nothing. For me, Madueke, I thought to myself, you're playing against the club that sold you. Ain't you got a bit of pride for yourself to be like, oh, I would have dunk on Chelsea today? No, just too casual with it. Too casual with it. So if you can't play like that in a high pressure scenario. It's just so lazy. And Declan Rice, I was so happy, and Hincapié as well. There were times Lewis-Skelly was so high, and it was one-on-one, and both of them turned around to Miles at times and were going like, mate, what are you effing doing? Like, help us out, because you're just two up there. Positionally, he got done again. I'm worrying about
James,
Miles Lewis-Skelly at the moment.
He played a pass defensively. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
Rice lost it with him.
I don't know what's happening with him. I don't know if it's that he's been too much out and he hasn't had enough minutes or what. But I don't like going into any player, but I'm like, you are looking like a liability at the moment, Miles. Like, you really need to buckle up because you're costing us here. You're looking really daft.
He got that yellow card so quickly as well. Like, coming cold into the game. And like we said on the previous post-game show for the Bayern Munich match, we don't want to lay into any player. We're just saying what we're seeing, and praise and criticism come hand in hand. And last season, he was tremendous. And there was an unknown quantity to Miles Lewis-Skelly for the opponent. And also, with regards to kind of him and how he integrated into the team and the way he played, he was a revelation. But when you upgrade, and this is what we've seen, and we've talked about this, Albert, when you upgrade in positions, and we've certainly done that. So when players are out, you try and find as close to as much as you can. There are some players, Big Gabby, right? We were raving about Hincapié, Mosquera, standing in for Saliba and Big Gabby. This is a London derby against a Chelsea team that is so much better than people are giving them credit for. This isn't a joke. Like, I think they could go on and have an improbable Arsenal 22-23 season. They're good. And they don't even have Cole Palmer in the squad, and they're getting results. He's just coming back from injury. So I think that this was one of those games where you kind of walk away grateful that you got the point. And it's the same against Sunderland, right? So many fans were fuming and angry. And Albert, you and I especially talked about people who look back on that game and be grateful for the point. And when you see Sunderland and their comeback at the weekend as well,
I'm being at home.
You're more and more grateful for that point, right? But you may have some quotes for us from the gaffer, Albert.
Right, let me quickly scroll through. He spoke to BBC and also Sky Sports. Let me read from the short ones on whether they played the occasion rather than the game at times. You have to play the occasion in certain duels and the way they propose the game as well. there are certain moments where you can sense at times we gave everything. On being able to equalize, it's very tricky. They have a lot of experienced players with big personalities. They know what they're doing and who to target. We have to play all those within the game. In the end, we scored. We had 2 massive chances as well to score, and we didn't. There are other quotes, Sophie, but there's too many to read out.
I mean, I think it's fair because if you can find like a couple of others, the stats for the match read like this, everybody. 11 shots for Chelsea, 8 for us, 5 each on target. We had 62% possession, which makes sense considering we were playing with the extra man. 229 passes to our 407. Our pass accuracy was 91%. Didn't feel like that. I think we made up for the numbers there in the second half. 14 fouls for us, 12 for them, 6 yellows for us, 1 yellow card for them, and 1 red. I mean, 3 offsides for us, 1 for them, 3 corners each. The table as it stands, Arsenal Football Club are first with 30 points, Manchester City 25, Chelsea 24, Aston Villa 24. Honestly, when you look at third place to around 14th, 15th, there really isn't much in it. I mean, Manchester United bounced back to 7th place and Liverpool to 8th. Crystal Palace lost and they're still in 9th. It's craziness. But
Sophie, this just proves the point, though, because so many people are like, "Oh, you're only top because it's a shit league." I'm like, no, look at those teams.
Exactly.
It shows it's a strong league because they're better than the ones that we're all expecting to be in there.
mm-hmm.
You know, Sunderland and all that, they have no right being as high as they are, just considering they're being promoted. But they're they're well coached. They got good players, and like you said, they don't give in. They go till the last legs of a game to get you, to get 3 points, to get a point back, whatever. And, Villa now, they started poor, but they're clicking. They're looking dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you said, it's craziness. But after we played Sunderland, I said on here, didn't I felt like that was 2 points dropped. And a lot of people said, no, that's a point gained. This one for me today is a point gained. Definitely. I know as much as they had 10 men and we should have gone at it more and we should have done more. I'm glad that we come out of that and again, chalk it off and roll on Wednesday, because Wednesday's not going to be easy. I think a lot of people are looking at Brentford thinking that's going to be a walk.
Yeah,
no way.
You know what,
James?
James, fair play to Keith Andrews, because we looked at manager sort of the start of the season. I thought this is a baptism of fire for your first job, but they've had some fantastic results. So was it Igor Jesus up front? They're talking about if he keeps playing the way he's playing, Brazil might be looking at him. But so if I got one more quote quickly, Mikel speaking to Sky Sports, I'll read through it quite quickly. A really tough one. 2 teams that play with a lot of intensity and aggression. You could sense it in every tackle. The game settled, and after the red card, we needed to settle and make the judgment, but we conceded a foul and a goal. 2 top teams fighting for the Premier League, so it's normal. We had 4 players with yellow cards, and you could see they were targeting those players. The first action in the second half, we conceded, and we had to get through that. We scored a brilliant goal. We had 2 or 3 big chances. They are a really good team. They've scored 7 goals from corners, and we've scored 8.
You know where I felt I think people are going to point to the Timber moment, but do you know where I felt like if we score here, the game's over? That was the Saka cross with his right foot.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen Saka score bangers with his right foot, and everyone kind of, it's his weaker foot. There were 3 Arsenal players onside in the box,
mm-hmm.
and that is going to haunt Bukayo. And again, when he's been the hero so much, I refuse to make him the villain in this game. He's had a big week. Congratulations, by the way, on your engagement.
Mm-hmm.
And, not going to say maybe he partied a little harder than he should have, just being cheeky. But any other day, Saka makes that cross, and he will punish himself more than any Arsenal fan can punish him. And you saw the players didn't berate him. Mikel Merino was ready to pounce on that. I think that's the moment, more so than the Timber Gyökeres thing at the end, guys. That was the moment where I felt
Sophie.
we could have put it to bed.
I really do, because there's times for me with Saka where I think he gets his goal and he gets his assist, and he's like, job done. And he's like, it's not about getting a second goal. It's not about getting a second assist or getting a hat trick. For me, I think sometimes he does what he does, and then that he feels like that's it. And I'm like, no. If you want to be in that upper echelon, in that upper rung of these players, you got to get more than just one assist. You got to get more than just one goal. And I hope he does kick on, because, like I said, I love him. Don't get me wrong. It's like someone put in the chat earlier: constructive criticism. I'm not digging him out. I'm not saying he's awful like some other people in this sphere do. But you've got to give more than what you're giving. And it's like I said, the one time that he did go at Cucurella and he did spin him up, that's when we got the goal.
Was there any player, Albert, for you today? It's one of my favorite sayings. Anyone who played in the shadows but brought the light. I talk about this often on the show, in that this season we've been lucky. We've had very few moments, unlike last season, which was a challenge fitness-wise and stuff, where everyone has their bad game on the same day. It felt like today most of our team were having their bad game on the same day. And honestly, I was so surprised by this comment from Afsar. Why did Arteta not rest players in the Bayern Munich game, which was a meaningless game? If you think a Champions League game against Bayern Munich, a team that have humiliated and spanked us over and over again, is a meaningless game.
And unbeaten.
And really, along with Real Madrid by default, just because they're the kings of Europe and they've won so many, but most are tipping, Bayern Munich or PSG to win the Champions League. It is not a meaningless game. So, against Brentford, and we'll talk to Natalie about it on Tuesday, and no disrespect, but maybe we will rest a couple of key players. You play who's against you, right? So, Albert, was there anyone today who you felt did play in the shadows and brought some light, considering not everyone had their best game?
Gee, that's a hard question to ask, man. I thought in.
That's why I'm the host.
Yeah, of course, Sophie, and you do it bloody brilliant. You do it bloody brilliantly as well. I'll tell you that.
It's my Barbara Walters moment today.
It's a tough one, because a lot of them didn't play well, man. Quickly about Saka. Saka's one of the very few where he does make the correct decisions in the key moments. That did not happen today at all, man. Maybe there's a few other games, but I don't know whether it came from the manager, but I thought obviously Hincapie can play obviously as a left back as well, but he got forward a lot more. So that last sort of 10-15 minutes, he put in that beautiful cross for which would have been a Yorker header, but Timber got in the way. But it's hard so far. If you really had to push me on it, I mean, although we had two centre backs playing that's rarely played together, Rare didn't have a lot to do, but I actually thought Hincapie, apart from that odd moment in the first half where he lost a bit of concentration, I thought he actually did. Him and Mosquera did pretty well. I thought it was pretty solid.
I like when Mosquera told him off. Was it when he tackled Neto and he kind of went in his face? And Mosquera and David Raya were like, no, son, no. But I liked that. I really liked that. He's fearless. I do like that. And I thought they grew into the game more after the sending off.
Yeah.
Even though Chelsea still looked very dangerous, every time they got the ball going forward, they've got players that can hurt you. They definitely grew into the game. James, anyone for you that you felt kind of worked in the shadows but brought the light?
No, I agree. I agree with what Albert said. I thought that they definitely grew into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Hincapie, obviously the better of the two, but I thought the two centre halves were amazing. I thought they did very, very well today. And there's not a lot, like you said. Unfortunately, all of the best players this season all decided, let's all have a bad day at the same time. Then. It happens, doesn't it? It's just sometimes it's just not your day.
Yeah, you're right. It can happen. It can happen. It was the second half. I don't know. I was watching it. I was just getting more. I was frustrated and angry. It's just so flat. And
I think we get spoiled now.
Yeah.
From the kind of Liverpool meltdown to how we've played since then. We're 5 points clear. We're top of the Champions League table, you know, and now we're going into a schedule. We had a horrific start to the season. This was an insane week. We play Brentford, and as good as Brentford are doing, we're at home. I fear for Brentford. I think we're going to take out a lot on them in midweek. The tough game for me is Aston Villa, who are finding their feet again, and that's always a tough away fixture, even though we've kind of gotten a little retribution against them. Then we have Club Brugge away. All right. Now, if you want to rest players, you can go ahead and rest a few players there. Then we have Wolves, Everton away, which at their new stadium, hopefully we could start a new type of record against them. Then we've got the EFL quarterfinal. And then we have Brighton, who taught Nottingham Forest a little come down to earth lesson. So as much as people say we have an easier schedule coming up, it's really tough to say that in the Premier League now, guys, because it feels like not only every game feels like it's going to be tough or physical depending on the opponent, but it also feels like, you know, Arsenal are continually going to be judged on, let's see how they do in these next few fixtures. Well, I think we passed the test at the beginning of the season, and I think we've passed the test this week. You humiliate your nemesis. You beat the supposed best informed team in Europe. You send a message, and then you get a point away against a team that is evolving and emerging under Maresca, and it's another London derby, guys. Is it really that bad?
No. I mean, it went exactly how all three of us said. We all said, didn't we? Not really worried about the derby. The Bayern Munich, wow, that's going to be amazing under the lights, and we think we're going to win this one. But we said, we're confident of getting a result today against Chelsea, but Chelsea will be the wily game. That will be the one that's tricky, because this season, there's something about Chelsea. I think they're underplaying. I think he's underplaying it as a manager as well. How well they're, you know, he still thinks that, oh no, we're not good enough to win the title. He's keeping the expectation low so that if it doesn't get over the line, he could be like, well, I never said that we were going to do anything anyway, which is, you know, very politician's way of going about things. I don't blame Maresca for doing it. But at the
James,
same
it's
time,
very much like Mikel in the 22-23 season, don't you think?
Definitely. But the thing with us now is where we are the top, not only in the Prem, but also in the European competition. We're a scalp. So every team that we play against will be like, well, we're beating the top dog.
We're target practice, mate.
Exactly. And that's what we got to get right. And again, keep saying it, plug and play, and just put the cassette in and repeat my voice over and over. It's how we handle all of these players coming back now.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because seeing as we're all together,
it's a positive. Don't get me wrong. I'm over the moon that all these players are coming back. What frustrates me is that as soon as we get the attackers back, the defenders are dropping like feet. You can never have both at the same time. You can never have anything nice.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I definitely expected more from Noni today against his old team, especially after he played so well in the North London derby. Was it Bayern Munich?
He got the goal against Bayern.
Yeah. And Odegaard has been out for a while. I'm sorry, but I'm just really not going to judge and point the finger at these players who've been out for a while and are coming into a very, very physical game against this Chelsea team, Albert. So let's talk about Wednesday. Does Rice get a rest and Norgard comes in against his old team? Kind of football works in mysterious ways like that. Do you rest Calafiori, or now does Arteta have an issue trusting Miles? Timber needs a rest. You know, Benjamin White coming in doesn't seem like such a bad idea. You don't want to make Pep Guardiola arrogant 10 changes, but what are you doing, Albert? What would you like to see?
Rice will definitely play. I think when I look at some of the players were fit to be on the bench today, and as you mentioned, in terms of the fixtures that are coming up, you will probably expect to see maybe GoonerChris come in, Odegaard come in. Ben White's a very good option, by the way. It's almost a forgotten man, Sophie, to be honest, sometimes when he's got so many defenders there. Yeah, it's crazy. But
Let's put a picture up of him and look at his crazy, beautiful hair. Look at
I
that.
think the positive thing is, Sophie, do be like that. Is that Arsenal do
He's trying to
have?
get it as long as me and James.
Yeah. Arsenal do. We've moaned and complained about squad depth for as long as I can remember. We have that option, Sophie. So it'd be crazy for Mikel not to utilize that. He has to. You have to freshen it up. So
what are you doing?
what am I going to do?
Politicians' answer. It's not
Rice
questions.
No, Rice. I said Rice will start. Rice will definitely play, 100%.
Yeah, but should he?
Should he play?
Yeah.
For that game? Yeah.
Because it's a London derby.
You can't go off back-to-back man of the matches against Bayern Munich and Chelsea today and
Sophie
not play.
Plays 100%.
Yeah.
He plays.
He's at the moment he's our best player, so he's playing for me.
I'm just challenging you guys and asking you because people keep saying he looks knackered. He's played another 90 minutes. Well, what do you want?
But he's the marathon man. You know, Granit Xhaka all them seasons ago was the only person that could play 3 games in a week, and you knew that he'd be fine. And that's Declan Rice now. Declan Rice is the marathon man. That's just what he does. Duracell bunny, whatever, whatever analogy you want to use. This guy, I don't know if it's because I'm only looking on certain websites and I haven't got like the journalist accreditation level to get it. I can't find distant covered stats for Premier League players and Premier League games, but I bet you he didn't do any less than 12K today. Easily. And I bet you he did more than, I bet he did 10 to 12K in midweek as well. That's just what happens. And Jay Raucus there, when do you rest him? For me, against Bruges. When we play Bruges in the Champions League, that's when you're Brugge, whatever way you want to go about it. That's when you rest him.
And Mikel, the thing, sorry, Jay, the thing with Mikel is, us as fans, yeah, there's times when I said this when he played Sunderland, like Rice looked knackered. I would have bought him off. He's completely on his feet, but Mikel has to make that judgment call, Sophie. And sometimes, a lot of the time, he doesn't. There are times when Saka can come off. Of course he can. There are times when Rice can come off.
I agree with Naz here.
Go on. Sorry.
No, I'm interrupting you. Sorry, because complaints are something that you say here, Albert. Once he gets injured, same Arsenal fans will be complaining why he isn't rested enough. I get James's resting him against Club Bruges. I get that. Brentford, Aston Villa, no, away. You need him. I mean, you need him. You need your best players, right? Mm-hmm. But it's true. It's like we got to be careful here. Albert.
I mean, he took Saka off the other night. What was that on, James? That was 60 minutes?
Yes, roughly, yeah.
No, yeah, and that's very rare for Mikel to bring Saka off after that length of time anyway. But with the players coming back, I would expect to see him freshen it up. Get Madueke Kane. Trossard's not going to be back. Get Martin Odegaard if he's ready to play today. Get the minute. He needs to freshen it up. And I want to see Mikel do that. That's one thing I said about him. He needs to do that a bit more. You've now got the tools to utilize that squad a lot better in terms of giving players 45, 60 minutes and bringing them off, because the games are coming thick and fast. It's not a question of if he should do it. He should do it. You have the players there at your disposal.
Yeah, I agree with Charles here. It's not panic station, definitely not. After 3 games at that level, there are levels to games we understand. There's no change in status quo. The only thing that did not work out for Mikel was subs. Now, we've really lauded Mikel for his subs, apart from maybe today again, what choice did he have with, I think, 5 players now I mentioned on the bench who just coming back from injury. The Sunderland game, I think there was deserved criticism there, but he's been near perfect on his subs this season. And in terms of his starting 11, I kind of am swinging James's way in terms of Ben White not having started at centre-back for a while and trusting Mosquera and Nketiah. And when are they going to learn? Throw him into the frying pan, right? What do we say about the gaffer today, guys? James, start with you.
Yeah, it's tough because the subs, in principle, were the right players, but the attitude that they had when they, for me, once they cross over that white line, he can't help how they play. And both of them today were shocking. And, hindsight's a wonderful thing, Sophie. And again, it was something me and you actually spoke about. before the game kicked off. Martinelli probably would have been the better player to bring off the bench instead of Madueke, because he understands the assignment. He'd have run at them. He'd have gone at it if he was coming off the bench instead.
She did say that.
Yeah, you were right. That would have probably been the best choice. So that's one to look at in midweek. I mean, if Trossard isn't fit for midweek still, then I definitely would go for someone different on that left. I wouldn't be against putting Eze on that left-hand side and having Odegaard move back into the 8, because he's the club captain. He's gonna find a way to get Odegaard back in. I know I said he's got to control this and find the perfect time to do it, but I think he's just going to go, no, he's my captain, he's my man, I'm backing him. So he's going in there, and Eze, you can go back on the left, which is where I originally bought you for. So we'll see what happens with that one midweek. That's one I would do. But yeah, I definitely would say put someone else on that left-hand side midweek. Not that Martinelli did anything wrong today. He had a shot that, again, they probably look like better chances because Sanchez makes easy saves look incredible. He makes them dramatic.
You know what?
Shots that are right at him. He makes them look so dramatic.
Excuse me. That was a poor shot, I thought. He hit it. He gave it to the goalkeeper. That wasn't a great shot. For me, Martinelli's still a super sub. And I think he's feeding off that energy, coming on and being the hero. We really missed Trossard today. We missed his confidence, his movement, how he's just connected to that front line now, the things that he does on and off the ball. He's excelled off the ball more this season than last. So, yeah, you miss players. And I think we can talk a lot about missing Big Gabby and Saliba. But today it shows you, Trossard, who's been one of our best players this season, Albert, we really, really missed him. And what do you say about the gaffer today, Albert JTV?
The thing is, he like James, to echo what James said, he did make the right subs because you had the options to bring on because they came back from injury. But what can you do when they cross the white line and they don't perform? Because it didn't really change from when he came on. So I can't hammer Mikel if you're talking about in regards to the game today. You made the right subs. You put on the attacking options that we've got on the bench and we bought, and the club captain and Gyökeres, and we didn't look any different. Seriously. Well, yeah, Gyökeres and Noni, Odegaard. Chance. Took it right off his head, man. He's come steaming in. Oh, man.
Things like that happen. Did he call for it? Should he have been more vocal? What happened there? Again, it's a point away against Chelsea. They haven't beaten us in a really long time, guys. Our record there is really, really positive. And, sometimes...
Sarri's first game as Chelsea manager and Unai Emery's first away game as Arsenal manager. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah, and Lone Star says we scored immediately after the subs came on. I did feel that, as you want to have them to have more impact, but it did feel like we were stroking the ball better when Odegaard came on. I thought Eze had one of those games Rebecca Lowe told us about, will shine one week and then kind of
she did say that,
disappear the next. Not because he's a bad player, he just has that vibe about him week to week. And again, let the criticism be as loud as the praise. We're not afraid to do that. He, in a London derby today, I'm sorry, but he was awful. He was not great. He did very, very little. I think he started the move for the Martinelli chance. But
he was involved in that. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, but other than that, it wasn't great. Al Woodism says another good show with good constructive feedback. We really appreciate that. Saunacan Dreaming says, right, Odie added sharpness, but for 10 minutes. Okay. All right. I thought Mikel managed today.
10 minutes in heaven's better than no minutes in heaven. That's what I always told people.
I know that saying in a different way.
Yes, that's why I'm saying it.
Yeah. But we'll leave it at that. So, player of the match.
I think the squaddies are smart enough to know.
They're smart enough to figure it out. Player of the match, even though many are upset with the overall performance. James, do you?
Are we doing this all together or just as an Arsenal player?
In the chat, quick. Because
it was Declan Rice for us, But I thought Reece James was the best player on the pitch. I'll happily say I thought Reece James was fantastic for them today.
He
was a royal pain in the arse, but he does that so well. If he played for your team, you'd love him, but he's a pain in the arse.
He's been very good since he's back from injury. Like, Chelsea fans must be thinking, my God, I wish we could have this guy fit, you know. And I thought he was really, really good today.
It's just injuries. You keep him fit. He's brilliant offensively and defensively.
He was superb today. He really was. In terms of our player of the match, James says Declan Rice. Albert, my player of the match is Tony, because I woke her up for the second half. And I'm like, no, we can't be having this. She's my second half lucky charm.
Scrap mine for Rice, Tony.
Tony's my player of the match. Well done. Exactly, Vespa. Exactly. Yeah. Oh dear. She's very upset about the fact that Arsenal drew. Arsenal drew. Yeah. Jokes aside,
more bark than Lewis Skelly and Madwecki had all game.
Oh Jesus.
Very good, James. Mikel Merino, I was calling him to be subbed after the first half. And I should look at the game a little bit deeper than I did, because he is the player for me that continually, to answer my own question, works in the shadows and brings the light. And Mikel Merino is my man of the match today, because in the first half, there's nobody really. Maybe Declan Rice tried. But in the second half, and, I understand Declan was challenged in this game because of what we needed to do defensively. But Mikel Merino, for me, is my man of the match. He gets the goal. He was in a position to get the winner if Saka had just found him, right? And I thought he was consistent in the second half, and he was really trying to make things happen. So he's my player of the match, and the player that plays in the shadows but brings the light.
I'll go with that one as well, Sophie.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I said the chat to go, get your thoughts in quickly. I didn't be swayed.
Saka confidence gone? I don't think so. Is he
not with the week he's has. I don't think so.
He's getting a lot of. Don't worry about Tony. She'll get her sleep. Newman, Tony wants me to have a coin. Okay, so I was going to do that today, but I can't without our Chief Like Officer, Tammy Steels. And it's not like her to say she's not going to be here. She'll pop into the chat. So I do hope everyone, our Chief Like Officer, Tammy Steels, is okay and all is good in her world. Albert, you're being called a chicken.
Put a laughing emoji, so I'll have that one. Because I really was struggling. I was like, I was struggling to give a name. I'm going to be honest. Because I didn't really think anyone for me stood out that much in that game. I thought
Saka's getting a lot of heat in the chat today. I wonder what our audio listeners think.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I've been saying this for weeks. I've been called every name under the sun. I'm glad people are on my side. This is amazing.
Oh, someone's gone in on this. Say Saka. You've probably seen the comment already.
Where?
And Zico 1908. He showed why he's not world class.
Wow.
That's too close to Enzo, so I reckon that's probably Enzo. That's a Fernandez burner account that's come in.
Maybe.
I mean, I think it's a little bit.
He's our most consistent player.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit harsh. I think it's a little bit.
He's had some. So I think we listen.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Saka should be dropped for Jesus. Here you guys are saying you wouldn't drop Declan Rice, and you want to drop Saka for Jesus.
Yeah, even I'm going, that's a stretch.
I mean, look, should he be? I think Saka is not the engine that Rice is, and should maybe be subbed 20 minutes, 30 minutes or whatever. And we've seen Mikel do that a couple of times, but. Yeah, I think that's a little. That's this trust in Jesus, Jesus, that he's going to come back and save something. Look, if he comes back and contributes, great. But I can't trust him. He's been AWOL. He's been great when he's turned up, but how can you trust that? There's nothing more I would love for him to become a trump card for us this season and play consistently in the team and contribute, especially in these Champions League games and stuff. But to suggest Saka should be dropped for him, please. If anything, I'd rest Saka and play Madueke on the right. That's what I would do.
But Mikel needs to do that. It's not a sign of weakness as a manager to take off one of your better players when they're not performing. That's where you earn your 15 million quid a year. Make the tough decisions. If he's not affecting the game, you bring him off. End of story.
Yeah, he's reluctant to sub Saka.
Very.
There's no doubt about it. But he has done that this season. He has subbed him.
But Sophie, I think he does it though. When he does, I mean, the other night's a good example, right? Sometimes I think he takes him off because he takes him off for me more so with a game in mind as opposed to just hooking him because he's played poorly. And
I see what you. I understand that. I understand that. That's fair. That's fair. He does need to be challenged to bring out the best in him. But you know what? Why? Because Mikel, again, maybe we're seeing like the trust building with some of these other players. He trusts that Saka could turn a game on its head. He's that type of player. He can have one moment. And in a game like this where really the chances were few and far between, it's going to be a moment. And maybe he felt like Saka was the moment guy. And, you know, he didn't deliver today, but
and he did get
Jesus, he's been our guy. He's saved us in so many occasions.
Yeah.
I get it though, that he shouldn't be treated differently. Totally get it. Have I not said anything that you guys want to say that we didn't cover in this particular match? Is there anything that you feel like you haven't been able to say that you want to get off your chest?
I would say James probably coming off the back of me. If anybody does want to watch Match of Day 2 again, I probably might say do something else. Unless you really, really want to watch that game again.
I'm going to go and watch the NFL.
Why I advise people. Some people might not have watched the game, Sophie, depending where they are. They might have just been at work or radio. If that's the case, then you should watch it back.
I think that's very good advice. Very good advice.
It is, because if you listen to us and you disagree with us vehemently for the whole hour and 6 minutes and counting, then you'd be like, okay, let's watch the game. And you'd be like, oh, maybe James, Albert, and Sophie were a little bit right. Maybe just a little bit.
I tell you who's right. Demsek here. Saka was poor and still managed an assist for the goal.
And that is the thing. He still does somehow, even when he's not playing well, to assist and help the team. And
I like this.
Be overlooked. Yeah.
I like this from Aditya. Rate the entire week, Soph. Aditya gives it an 8 out of 10. James Johnston. What do you say? I like this. Yeah, rate the week.
Yep, I'm exactly the same. Solid 8. Would have got a bigger number if we got the points today. But at the end of the day, look at that. 3, as well as physically taxing, mentally taxing games. This one, the most of anything. Didn't lose any of them.
Jamie.
So happy stuff. Happy days.
Albert, how do you rate it?
Roll on Wednesday.
So if I just want to clarify for VAR purposes, when you say for the week, do you mean football in terms or just my own personal life of work? Because
if you want to, did you have a hot day? Is there something you want to share?
But by the time I've been getting home for games or for during the days, I'll give it a 2. But in terms of the football, I think 8's a good score. And again, like I said, we've had a trio of London derbies for the second time round in the space of maybe a couple of months, James.
Albert, I've said it for years. You know, Liverpool have 2 a season, which is arguably the easiest rivalry in football. Their derbies. Man City have 1 a season. We have about 8, 9, or 10 of these London games. We have loads. So yeah.
There are a lot of people saying in chat that they felt like if it was 11v11, they would have beaten us today.
Possibly.
Possibly.
I don't think. Yeah. Again.
Who knows? Yeah.
If my auntie had wheels, she'd be a bike.
I was waiting for that one to go. So, but, yeah, I'll change the topic, Sophie. I love the Christmas tree. Sorry, just to get that in there. That's
I was going to give my mark too, and then let's
shout out the
laud
penguin.
my Christmas tree. I think it was an 8.5 out of 10, and for the reasons I said earlier in the show, where I tried to encapsulate all of it. You know, humiliating Tottenham, humiliating Bayern Munich, and getting a point against a really good Chelsea team who came to play rough today. And yeah, I think it's been a really good week, and long may it continue. Top of the league still, top of the Champions League. And we just got to keep this run going, keep our players safe, be sensible, be smart, don't risk anybody, utilize the squad. And, you know, Mikel's managing this process really well. There's going to be a few people that are going to throw their toys out the pram today. I'm pretty sure of it. And I just think it's premature. I just feel like this is the kind of game where it's so intense and it's never easy. And they were really physical today. So I'm not going to kill the players at all. And it's not what we do here. I mean, we may go supersonic sometimes when it's deserved. But I think that people are going to be throwing their toys out the pram and start, you know, using it as an opportunity to just have a dig at the manager for maybe the things they feel like he didn't do. I think, you know, maybe Chelsea fans could say the same about their manager and blame Caicedo and have a pop at him for being an idiot, et cetera, et cetera. So I think, you know, really, really stoked with the point in the end today when we didn't play very well. We had our chances to win it, but it's just, you know, we didn't take them, and we need to be more clinical.
So if you're right, like, I think sort of the best I can kind of sum it up, I don't know what people feel like in the chat. If you don't play well enough to win the game,
don't lose it.
Just don't lose it. So it's another point chalked up. We spoke about this, Sophie, just before the game. If you're not gonna win the game, and you're definitely not gonna play well, you don't bloody lose it. And we're going away and we're away from home in the London derby, so that is a positive.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a few games at home. We've been on a little ride. We haven't had to leave London, right? So I really hope that we can make this count against Brentford this coming week. And by the way, on Tuesday, your favorite is back. You asked for her, and I deliver. Natalie Sawyer will be here to talk about the Brentford game with us. So tune in on Tuesday at 8 p.m. I was just having a little gander to see who Chelsea are playing next. Leeds United.
Oh, come on, James, let's get on it. Come on.
Liverpool playing Sunderland.
Ooh.
And Manchester City are playing Fulham in London.
Oh, interesting.
Very interesting. Could change, could be topsy-turvy.
That Sunderland game at home, so is it?
The Liverpool game against Sunderland is at Anfield.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we shall see what happens. And yes, the tree is up. For those listening on audio, my Christmas tree is up. It just felt like, you know what? Just brings joy. What is it about Christmas trees and the Christmas lights that just bring this comfort and cuddleness for your life? Do you guys love the tree light? I've slept on the couch last night with Vinny and Vespa like a child because I just couldn't let go of the tree and hugging the tree. I didn't want to leave it. And it was just joyous.
I see the comment about me needing a tree. They need to. I'm really sorry. You need to understand. If I go like that, I am out of the room. All my arms are. That's the whole length of the room. I can't fit a tree in here, my friend. I'm really sorry. Yeah. I'm not anti-Christmas. I don't. Yeah. You know. I know people know that I'm part Jewish. I don't hate Christmas. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Christmas fan.
Are you a bar humbug?
No, I love Christmas. I can't get a tree. I cannot physically get a tree. I can just about get me in here, and I've lost weight. But if I go like that, I'm out the room. I can't fit.
You can fit a little like a little Charlie Brown tree right there in the corner.
My tree, but my tree's up, but it's obviously you can see it's not actually finished. So
Albert, I just realized that your tree's in the background. And it's just leaning up against your wall.
Highbury Squad people, which I'm sure will come on in the next 29 days. You'll see a tree in the background.
You didn't bring the light when it was the darkness today, Albert. You should have brought the light, my friend.
No, it's the game. It's the game, man.
You guys would like this one.
That's a quality tree, man.
I'll get this decoration right here. You can't see a close-up of it. Watch someone screenshot it now and get a close-up and say, that is really naughty,
Do you want me to lose my
Sophie.
tenancy, people? Do you want me to lose my tenancy?
Tendency.
But this is our local restaurant. It's, I won't say where it is because then people could come hunt me down. But anyway, whatever. The tree is great. Christmas is great. And that's, anyway, no, it's from a local place and in Newport Beach, and we love it. And let's just say that it's unafraid to enjoy what's beautiful about women. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Okay. So that's it. That's all we got time for, kids. Thank you so much for tuning in, no matter where in this world you are. Make sure that you leave your comments in the comment section. Let Albert and James have it. Let me have it. And if you agree or disagree, we still love each other and we're still proud of the team today. And long may this good run and being top of the league continue. We will be back live on Tuesday with Natalie Sawyer. Tomorrow's Monday, isn't it? Oh, Monday Madness.
It is.
Okay. I'll keep you posted. Look out in the community section. What do you boys have coming up in the near future?
Oh, Jesus.
Not in your life, Albert. You know, you want to talk about that today, but
no.
you know.
I don't want to do that. No. Nothing coming. Like I said, keep posting with myself. Obviously, I've got my channel. Look out for me on the socials. You'll get the updates in very, very due course across Instagram, TikTok, and what's the other one? X.
Yeah. Too young. I'm too young. I'm too old for TikTok. I've tried. I really have. I'll keep trying. James, what have you got coming up with the purely Arsenal stuff?
Yeah, well, they're going to probably be recording tomorrow morning while I am getting ready to go to work, but still check them out regardless because it will be a good show. And then I will have something on my own channel before Wednesday. So I will do Tuesday, but I will do it at a different time to when you're on so that we do not clash. Because I know that's contentious for people. People think, you go at the same time. That's our, that's their slot. That's my slot. I've always had that slot. I own YouTube. That's my slot.
Daisies.
So,
hello, sailor. I love you, James. You're awesome.
You just got to be clear. I'm not. It's you and Natalie Sawyer. I'm never winning that battle. That's like that's two Jedi Knights versus a quadriplegic. It's not about. I'm not going to win. So I ain't going to be able to pluck someone else like Natalie Sawyer out. I haven't got someone like that in my book. So
I'm looking forward to hearing what Natalie says about Thomas Frank as well, knowing him so well. It's going to be interesting to see what she thinks about the rest of the league too. So yeah, we love having Natalie. She's looking forward to coming back on and seeing the squaddies. Plus, there's going to be another guest coming this week. It's just about scheduling the day. I can't wait. It's going to be great, and I think you guys will love it.
Special guest of special guests.
This
is my favorite. Is it?
Yes, I think so.
So if it's not,
that would be great. That'd be great.
I thought it might be Anne Hathaway. I was getting carried away though. I thought it might happen.
You know what? I invited. You know what? If I could get directly to Anne, I'm sure she'd come on the show. But when you have to go through publicists, and having been on the end of dealing with Hollywood publicists,
I'm struggling to compete with you and Natalie Sawyer and Hathaway. I've got no chance.
Listen, I'm definitely tuning in for that one. Don't worry about that. Jesus.
Maybe she saw me say that I thought her singing was a bit cringe that day. It was a bit cringe.
I watched one of her films the other day, actually. You might like it.
Which one?
I watched it. Oh God, she's
The Devil Wears Prada.
Goes out with a younger guy.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah,
he's an Arsenal. That's how she became an Arsenal fan. What's his name? Nicholas Galti. It's on
something like that. Yeah. It's
on Amazon.
It was a good film. Yeah, good film.
Yeah, it was there's this little trend of older women, younger man movies.
Yeah. He was a pop star. Yeah, it's a good film.
He's a pop star. Yeah, they go to Coachella. Woo!
Yeah, she's not really good in that.
Anyway, this is a casual Friday show now. We'll do that over the holidays. Newman, hang tight. Let's find out and make sure Tammy's all good. I'll send her a little email after this. She cannot miss the results of the jury. Listen, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks to Albert and James for joining again. We appreciate each and every one of you squaddies. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, what's ever left, no matter where in the world you might be. We'll see you this coming week for more Arsenal talk. Until then, don't forget to tell your loved ones you love them. Vinny, come say goodbye to everyone.
Go on, Vinny. Yes.
At ease, everyone. At ease.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Mayor of New York. I knew that was coming. Maybe
Yeah,
we
I
should-
thought so.